Boxing Ego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. 1.
Keith Thurman says that he doesn't know who he's going to fight next, but it probably won't be Jesse Vargas despite the rumors. Stay tuned. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, and the Patreon family. We working. Now, the last video I just put out was in response to an interview with Keith Thurman, who flat out said he's not fighting Errol Spence Jr. in 2018. Not gonna happen, right? Obviously they had a bunch of Showtime players when they unveiled a bunch of the first half of the year's fights, and then they had some one-on-ones. Keith Thurman did some interviews and roundtables and whatnot, and he says in this that he said, I don't know who I'm gonna fight next in May. I think it's May 19th. He said a name that was floating around there was Jesse Vargas, but you're hearing it from the horse's mouth. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm coming off an injury, this, that, and the third. So the way he was saying it, it basically sounded like Jesse Vargas is not enough of a tune-up fight for coming off of an injury, which, I mean, I thought it was a good fight. I don't know that I would call Jesse Vargas a tune-up fight because, you know what I mean, he's a very experienced guy. And I told you I like the fight for Keith Thurman for a comeback fight. I really do. I think it's not a give me fight. You can't, Pacquiao beat Pacquiao's Pacquiao. And you know what I'm saying? So I had no problem with the fight. So I don't know who Keith Thurman's gonna fight if he's not gonna fight Jesse Vargas. Some other people are tied up. Is he gonna go through like the bottom of the barrel type of tune-up fight? Like somebody that really doesn't make sense? I wanted to see, since he is a 2-belt holder champion, and I don't know, I'm not a doctor, I don't know the extent of his injury, but he's had some good time between when he got the surgery and May. He's had some ample time to let this heal. Now it's just about getting in training camp and see how you feel and things like that. So I think Devin Alexander is another good opponent. He's coming off a good win. He hasn't been the most active guy. He's not the biggest puncher, but he could be a challenge. I wouldn't mind something like that, but I hope, just me personally, for a comeback fight, since he is the welterweight champion with the most belts, I don't want to see him go to, you know what I'm saying, like the bottom of the barrel, like a fight that doesn't even make sense, some guy no one's ever heard of or anything like that, but we'll have to wait and see. It's unfortunate because I thought the Jesse Vargas fight would be perfect. It's definitely a winnable fight for Keith Thurman, but it's enough of a test where, you know what I mean, it would be a sellable fight, because we know Jesse Vargas gave Tim Bradley problems in the 12th round. He didn't really do much with Pacquiao, but he was competitive enough, you know what I mean, and he has a lot of experience, so I would have liked that fight. I don't know what's up with Keith Thurman, to be honest. He says the Errol Spence fight is not going to happen. He did an interview with Seconds Out, and he had this weird analogy where he says, let's say Kobe Bryant's coming off of an injury, and the league says they want you to have an exhibition game, a one-on-one game with KD, Kevin Durant, this and that. And I'm like, I'm trying to follow. You know, I love analogies. I'm like the king of analogies, but I just didn't understand. And he just, boxing is not a team sport. So if Kobe knows he's at the top of his game, but he's coming off injury, and Kevin Durant, I'm just like, where are you going with this? Like, it doesn't really relate to his current situation. I've said it before, I said it again. Nobody's expecting Keith Thurman to immediately go in and fight Errol Spence off injury. That would be foolish. That would be stupid, right? But Errol Spence has most likely a mandatory fight that he's going to have in June in Dallas. So that gives Keith Thurman time to fight somebody in May. He can come back and fight somebody in a couple of months after that. Well, he should have fought before May, in my opinion. You know what I mean? He probably should have fought in, let's say, February, March. And then you could fight in September. And then you could do something late in the year, November, December. But either way, it still gives him time. Gives him time to recover. Now, the reason a lot of people, in my opinion, think that Keith Thurman is avoiding the Errol Spence Jr. fight is because of this. He keeps talking about mandatories, and first Errol Spence got to do something, then Errol Spence is a champion, and now it's a new set of hurdles, and the goalpost seems to be changed. This is the thing. This is the reason why it seems like Keith Thurman knows that Errol Spence is a threat. I mean, even in this interview where he's talking about Kobe and KD, he's talking about, oh, it doesn't make sense to go to the top of the food chain. So by saying something like that, you're acknowledging that Errol Spence Jr. is a threat. But beyond that, this is what leaves people in doubt, is because we get it, you're coming off of this injury, but what if you go in and have your tune-up fight with Devin Alexander, we'll say, right? You have a colossal rematch, whatever, whoever they put you in there with, whoever you guys decide, and you feel great. You know what I mean? The whole purpose, you got to understand this, the whole purpose of having something operated on, having a surgery, is supposed to correct the issue. Like when Kell Brook got his eye busted by Gennady Golovkin and then got it busted by Errol Spence, and then it required surgery. The whole purpose is for them to put metal plating or do whatever testing and MRs and whatever procedural things that they need to do to help and aid and assist in the recovery, so you don't have that happen again. You know what I mean? So there's a chance that Keith Thurman, once he got this elbow spurs or whatever operated on, he might feel rejuvenated. But he's not even considering that option. He's just telling us straight away that the Errol Spence Jr. fight ain't happening in 2018. Like, you look at Deontay Wilder, he had metal pins implanted into his hands after the Chris Arreola fight. He had a fractured hand, and he literally showed it. I remember doing a video about it. You could see them pulling the metal pins out of his hand, and he was still trying to fight Luis Ortiz and Anthony Joshua. You know what I mean? You have to have some faith in the procedure. These guys are celebrity athletes, pro athletes, so hopefully they have good doctors and good coverage and stuff to the point where they get the best advice and, you know what I'm saying, the best treatments, and I don't know, it just seems like he's just expecting the worst. And the other thing that doesn't make sense to me is, like, Danny Garcia, Sean Porter, he's mentioned those fights, 2 guys he's already fought and 2 guys he's already beaten. Those aren't pushover fights. They both give you somewhat of a competitive fight, if not a competitive fight. So why are you so eager to fight them but not Errol Spence Jr.? So to me, there's something that he must see in Errol Spence Jr., and maybe because he's unfamiliar with Errol Spence, that he hasn't sparred or shared the ring with him, where he's not really willing to jump the broom and get that fight cracking. But Sean Porter's a rugged fight too, and you talking about maybe later in the year fighting him. So it seems all over the place for Keith. He basically said he doesn't think he's going to fight Jesse Vargas, but it's up in the air. We will see when it's announced who he decides to fight. Like I said, I just hope it's not someone bottom of the barrel. Hopefully it's someone respectable, even as a tune-up fight. But no one's really trying to see him fight Phil LaGreco or Frankie Gavin or something like that. That doesn't really make sense. Let me know your thoughts. Drop it in the comment section. Make sure you smash the like button as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.